This should be a very important game tonight. Frenzel again makes a nice cut to the outside.
You can talk about second and third effort.
To the pylon, touchdown, Charlestown. Great catch in front of the goal line.
That was a perfect throw. The sophomore quarterback
makes a great cut up the field. Gonzalez with the carry, bounces to the outside, to the back of the end zone. What a catch by Ryan Wynn. Hello everybody, welcome to Boston English High School in Jamaica Plain as we continue our coverage of the 2019 BPS High School football season. Tonight the Charlestown Townies will be taking on the Boston English Eagles. Hello everybody, I'm Pat Flaherty, joined by my partner as always, Alan Platt. And Alan, last season we covered these two teams later on in the regular season. They were the two top teams in the Boston South. The winner of that game was going to get a high seed in the playoffs.
Exactly. Yeah.
And English ended up winning that one. Really good game over at Charlestown High. This time, this year, earlier in the season, both teams in different spots. Charlestown 0-2, still haven't been able to pick up a win yet. Meanwhile, Boston English 1-3, had a great win against East Boston. But other than that, haven't been able to score a touchdown in any other games.
I'd say getting ready for this game, Pat, but looking at all the results so far, like you said, early in the season, English is 1-3. Fortunately for them, none of them are city losses.
That's right.
Because they're all outside the city type games. Their one win, like you mentioned, East Boston, is 40-0. That's the only game they've scored at all. The other three games, the three losses, they were shut out.
Put up a goose.
Okay, so it's one of those situations. What's really going to happen? And of course, we get here. First thing you hear about is a couple of players aren't going to play for the Charlestown team.
That's
right.
right.
You get into Charlestown, they have a short schedule. They don't play They don't play any outside games outside of Boston. So they're 0-2 coming in. But believe it or not, even with all that sort of down news, the winner of this game can still be in the playoff picture.
That's right. They'll still vault to basically second place in the Boston South, right behind Tech Boston. So first we'll talk about Boston English. A few new faces. They had a couple of transfers, but they still have some guys left. We've got Herbie Exelholm, Hakeem Oligan, a big tight end for them. They got a new quarterback, but they still have some players and they still have some depth this season.
They definitely do, and unfortunately they lost both their quarterbacks from last season. They thought one was coming back, but that didn't work out. So like you said, new quarterback, which is always a little nervous time for head coaches. More importantly, very inexperienced offensive line.
That's right.
And that's obviously led to them being shut out 3 times so far. But they're home. They're playing a team that hasn't won a game yet. English knows they can put up points once they get rolling. They're hoping that this home crowd, home field, will give them an advantage.
That's right. Meanwhile, on the other side for Charlestown, you mentioned a couple of guys out tonight, including their top player. He's our spotlight player tonight, Terrell McQueenie, and he's a guy who does everything out on the field for the Townies, but not playing tonight because of disciplinary reasons.
Unbelievable, but that's what happens. You have a perfect Friday afternoon. McQueenie, we saw him last season. As a matter of fact, the game that you were talking about earlier, he actually got hurt, but came back in the game, forced himself back in the game, still played well. Like you said, does everything, returns kicks. He's the kicker, the punter. He plays quarterback, he can play wide receiver, he can play running back. But like you said, all that skill will not be on display in this game tonight against English.
And you see McQueenie last year actually had a playoff game against West Roxbury. That was in the first round. Had a really good game in that one, along with that English game that we saw earlier in the halftime package that you mentioned, Alan. Just a really good all-around player, can catch the ball out of the backfield. Really tough runner. He is a load to bring down.
He really is. Strong power with some speed. You see the speed right there, but he also has quickness and good size. So, unfortunately, the one thing about football, of all sports, especially in high school, coaches tend to be as disciplined as possible because it's such a physical type game. They don't want to be showing any favorites. They want the team to go out as a team from the opening kickoff.
No question. So certainly Charlestown playing shorthanded tonight with McQueenie out. We got another backfield mate for Charlestown also out tonight. Leverett Ball is going to talk about that, our sideline reporter. So Leverett, take it away.
Thanks, guys. So Charlestown running back Jawan Ryan will not be playing tonight. As you know, he was listed as a game-time decision heading into this matchup with a high ankle sprain. But when I talked with Coach Cahill during warm-ups, he said that Ryan would not go. And as you mentioned, just a minute ago, Terrell McQueenie will not be playing either tonight, Charlestown's other feature running back. So Charlestown will be very thin at the tailback position. It's really anyone's guess at this point who will carry the load in the backfield for them tonight. Back to you.
Leverett, thanks very much. So, if you're Coach Cahill, you got to say to your rest of your guys, listen, this is your time This is your opportunity. One of you guys needs to step up and be our main guy today.
There's going to be at least 2 or 3 players who maybe on like Monday didn't expect to be playing at all, but now they're going to play pretty much the entire game.
That's right.
So that, like you said, chances come up. You never know when it's going to come. Question is, are you ready to perform?
That's right. We'll see who will emerge here at English High. Folks, going to head for a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the opening kick here for Boston English in Jamaica Plain right after these words. Don't go away.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation.
We can.
Get someone the cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates. Our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can. Intervene.
It's on us.
All of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education, what are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills.
The smarts?
Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Go, okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
Welcome back to Boston English High School in Jamaica Plain. The Charlestown Townies taking on the Boston English Blue Eagles, and we are just about set to go here at English High. As English won the toss, they deferred. Charlestown elected to receive. English in the navy blue uniforms with the white trim. Meanwhile, Charlestown, the all-white uniforms with the blue and red trim. We're set to go here at Boston English.
Well, nature's sort of obliging us as we had that glaring sun, but now it's gone behind the trees, so receivers shouldn't have any problem when they start passing the ball.
And onside kick here from Boston English. Ball is loose, but it looks like Charlestown recovered at the English 49-yard line.
With that Curry, the basketball player, got that one. Yeah, we saw Julian during the basketball season. He was easy to find, number 85, tallest kid out there. I think it's like 6. What's Julian's about 6'3" or 6'4"?
They have him listed at 6'6", I believe.
Oh, it might be, yeah. There you go, right on, 6'6".
Julian Curry. Like you mentioned, saw him during the basketball season. Coach Coleman head basketball coach at Charlestown, has high hopes for him. And last year we saw him make a couple of catches for Charlestown. We'll see if he can be a playmaker for them tonight. They're certainly in need of it.
They need somebody, like you said, in the open. They need somebody to step up. Doesn't even matter where it is. Wide receiver, running back, whoever.
And off on first down, fumble by Charlestown. We'll see who recovers. That thing squirted around like a jelly bean.
I think English has it.
And Boston English did recover at midfield.
First play of the game. Unfortunately for Charlestown, just didn't have a clean handoff.
Ricardo Darius, the ball carrier, one of the captains for Charlestown. Josiah Jean with the recovery for the Eagles.
So just like that, it's as if English actually received the kickoff to get the ball at midfield. You know, you come in like Charlestown is 0-2.
They're the starters for the Townies is Cabral. You see there the freshman quarterback. So we'll see if Charlestown can get him going. Of course, Charlestown now on defense. McQueenie and Ryan are out for the Townies. On first down for Boston English. Good block in the backfield. They go downfield to Hakeem Oligan. The big tight end rumbles down to the 15. Big pickup on that play for Boston English. 35-yard connection between the quarterback, Ja'Kai Smith, and the big tight end, Hakeem Oligan.
That might be an early indication of what we're seeing today. There's that block you talked about. That was a perfect play.
Yeah, Kasim Kerr coming up with the pass protection.
Kerr actually saves his quarterback from getting crunched from behind.
So the starters for Boston English: Smith, Stevens, Kerr, White, and Oligan. The handoff here on first down for Boston English.
Exelholm.
That's Herbie Exelholm. He's been a player very involved with the offense probably the past 3 years for Boston English.
He's been all over the field, too. I mean, he's been wide receiver, he's been a tailback. He's done a little bit of everything.
Nice run there on first down for the Eagles. So English now with the football at the 6-yard line. Second down and 3 now for Boston English. Handoff on first down. Being wrapped up in the backfield that time was Terrell Gathers. And he got a couple, though, so I think that's a first down for Boston English as they mark him down at the 3-yard line.
It looks like it should be a first down. You see Gathers, little stutter step, try to get inside the 5. Not sure what the, yeah, it's definitely first down.
We got a couple trainers going to the Charlestown side of the field, so they might have a hurt player that needs some attention.
Okay, so it's first and goal.
So first and goal from the 3-yard line for Boston English. It's Kerr, the deep back, and he gets the carry on first and goal. Kerr right near the goal line. Charlestown initially coming up with a stop. The rugby scrum in front of the end zone, and he's going to be about a half a yard short.
I think that scrum actually helped Charlestown defensively because they, the last few seconds of that, they actually got a little more momentum going backwards. Kerr looked like he was trying to dive into the end zone, but there's the scrum you talked about, and with all those players, late whistle and kept him out.
Ricardo Darius on the tackle for Charlestown. Second and goal now for the Eagles. Again, Kerr, the deep back. I think that was Smith who tried to punch it in, and he does for the touchdown. So Ja'Kai Smith, the quarterback, calls his own number on second and goal, punches it in for Boston English.
Safest play in football. Secure the snap and just get yourself in. Tell you, it's emotionally for English, that's got to be big. Like we said in the opening, they are home against a winless team, but the fact that you've been shut out 3 of your first 4 games to score early is really an emotional lift.
Boston English now going for the 2-point conversion. Power formation, the handoff to Kerr, makes a nice little cut, punches it in. So the 2-point conversion is good for Boston English. They're now on top 8-0. They're nearly going to the first quarter.
It's really nice to see Kerr get that handoff because you go all the way back to the first play from scrimmage, that 35-yard pass and catch play. Kerr saved the play with his block on the rusher for Charlestown. There you see a nice little cut. And yeah, I think English fired up. They, I'm not sure if they knew the Charlestown players weren't playing, but I mean, just being home is going to get you sort of juiced up. And like you said earlier, they put 40 up against East Boston, so they know they can score. But what happened in the games out of town, they just got goose eggs all the way through. So this helps. Being up 8-0 this early really helps.
No question. Once you get that first one in. So Boston English, after scoring the touchdown, Charlestown got to just wipe that fumble away from your memory if you're the Townies.
See, that's a tough part because you're talking about skilled players in skilled positions who, like we said earlier, probably weren't expecting to play much, if at all. And here they are thrown into the starting lineup. A mishap on a mishandle on the very first play from scrimmage. You lose the ball at midfield and then give up 8 points.
Four-play, 50-yard drive for Boston English. Minute 20 gone off the clock for the Eagles.
Now,
must have had a penalty on
yeah,
Charlestown.
penalty they didn't see.
As they're moving
into Charlestown territory.
So it's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Charlestown. So it's a 15-yard penalty that English can now kick off from the Charlestown 45.
Another squib kick.
The onside kick, and this time it's recovered nicely once again from Ricardo Darius, recovering the squib kick there for Charlestown. So they'll set up shop at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, Darius, see number 27, reaches up to get that one. He's one of the few guys who actually is a regular starter, gets a lot of time. So we'll see him coming out of the backfield for Charlestown. A little confusion now as they're trying to figure out their lineup. It's just tough. You know, we talked about McQueen earlier. He just does so much for the team that you're really replacing 2 or 3 different positions when he goes out. So it's not as simple as just 1 for 1.
They've had 3 touchdowns this season. He rushed for 2, and he was the passer on a halfback pass for the 3rd one. Now on first down, the freshman quarterback throwing it up into coverage. It bounces around and falls incomplete. We have a flag on the play. That's going to be roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer. The freshman took a wallop after he let that go.
So Ricky Cabral showing some guts trying to get that pass off, but into triple coverage.
You're absolutely right. I mean, he's a 9th grader, but he was under a lot of pressure before he let that go. So they got that 15 yards back. Up to their own 45-yard line. Actually, that's where he was throwing the ball. Where if it had been completed, that's where it would have been. You got to wonder, Pat. Okay, you got a freshman coming into the huddle and looking at some seniors and juniors, guys that he's been sort of playing behind them in practice. Now he's in charge of the huddle.
Right. Saying, so it's going to be okay, guys.
Just follow me.
Now on first down from the 45, Cabral tries to throw to the sideline, and the ball falls incomplete. Well, the referees took a little spill there as well.
Yeah, got a receiver's a little shaken up on the play for Charlestown. The sideline pattern. As you left your screen, the lines lady was Yeah, Bastion News is got right up. Might be one of those situations of losing your wind temporarily. So he'll take a couple plays off. I want to see Cabral look for Curry, big 6'6" wide receiver out here right in front of us.
Yeah, see him at the bottom of your screen there. If Cabral can get some time.
Single coverage. There
He's
he goes.
Looking for Curry down the middle of the field, and that ball is intercepted. Picked off by Boston English's Omari Stevens. Stevens has got a convoy down the left side of the field. Stevens still on his feet. You're going to flag on the play. That might be on Stevens. He got his hand on the defender's face mask. Yeah. So that could be an offensive face mask penalty at the end of the return.
A couple of things happened on that play. Obviously, the interception got the crowd all juiced up. Nice run back, but like you said, that's going to go backwards. That's going to be the face mask. It's interesting because the play was right in front of us. You had Curry, the big 6'6" wide receiver, but the safety actually came over to double cover Curry, and the freshman quarterback just didn't recognize that. Threw into coverage, had it picked off. So the ball being brought back to the 28-yard line. But again, English in excellent field position to start a drive.
So 15-yard face mask penalty. Here you see the
watch,
pick.
Watch the coverage. See, he started out with single coverage, but the safety came over to double up. Beautiful run back.
'73-yard return. But after the 15-yard penalty, it's English back to the 28-yard line now on first down. To fake the handoff. It's Smith rolling to his right. He had his tight end who just couldn't hang on to it. Pretty solid pass.
A well-designed play. You're right. Had a run fake. Rolled out. Can't put it out there any better than that.
We talked about Ricky Cabral, the freshman for Charlestown, being a first-year quarterback, obviously, with being a freshman. But Ja'Kai Smith, he's a junior at Boston English.
He didn't play before.
Didn't play his first two seasons, so it's his first year as a junior. The coaches have wanted him to play the past couple of years. Now on this play, Smith's just going to have to eat the football.
It bobbled. The snap just never came up, so it bounced back to him. Luckily, they kept possession. So the ball just never came up. Bounces all the way. Smith does get it and just tries to get something out of nothing. It'll be a third and about 13. Yeah, it's interesting. The coaches said they had to talk him into playing. They wanted him to play 2 seasons ago. So obviously, he's walking around the halls. You probably saw him in gym or in other sports, and so he said, "Listen, you're ideal for football."
I think they also convinced him to play baseball in the spring, so they certainly like his arm, being a quarterback and a baseball player.
Kerr.
Now the handoff over the right side to Kerr. He makes a nice cut up field, rumbles down to the 20, make that the 19. He's going to be about a yard short of the first down.
Good timing on this one. Kerr takes the handoff while he's in motion. Gets a good head of steam. It's been all English the entire first quarter so far, all played on the Charlestown side of the field.
Fourth and about 2 for Boston English. The handoff to Kerr again, and a strong run from him where he's dropped the 15-yard line.
He really gets off the spot really well. Kevin Dulon, good tackle, one-on-one situation. 37 right there. He was actually the last guy to have a chance to get him. It's been all English so far. Execution's been good. Like I said, no problems with handing the ball off. A couple of pass plays, big pass play to start the game, and then even the second one was right to the tight end. Just couldn't pull it in.
Now it's Geathers in the backfield as they hand off over the left side. Nice little play here for Boston English. making his way towards the end zone. Touchdown for English. That's number 12, Pedro Barrero, on the end around.
Well, you talk about using a number of different players in the skill positions for English. Barrero, that's the same play. He's in motion, gets the ball, has a head of steam. How he gets through these three Townies, that's just good effort on his part. But just like that, 14-0.
Yellow line's the goal line.
English likes that play, where you have the running back start as a wing, comes across either left or right.
Two-point conversion again. This time it's Stevens who slips out of the backfield.
Yeah, he's trying to make a cut. Lost his footing.
So two-point conversion, no good that time, but Boston English with their second touchdown of the game. Here's another look at the slip there by Stevens.
Yeah, she's just making a cut, and sometimes on the artificial turf you just lose your footing. But 14-0, that's the most important part of this.
That's the start that English wanted. After not scoring touchdowns in 3 of their last 4 games, Boston English with 2 touchdowns here midway through the first quarter, on top 14-0 over the Charlestown Townies. Right now, if you're Charlestown, it's the offense continuing to put Boston English in good position with turnovers.
Yeah, it's
6-play, 28-yard drive for English that last time.
Yeah, the mishaps are just putting far too much pressure on the Charlestown defense.
This time a high kicks. Ricardo fields it right around the 39-yard line. Now trying to get a good return for Charlestown. And the senior makes his way up to the 45-yard line.
It's a good job to get it in the air. Darius, watch Darius. He knows it's coming. He makes it a point to get it in the air. Don't let it bounce. And uses some of that skill to get back to the middle of the field. Okay, so 45-yard line. Charlestown, good position.
Interesting to see Boston English using that kicking style because Coach Conway, for about 15 years, was an assistant for East Boston.
That's right.
And they use that.
They've used it for many years.
Since they put that turf in over near the airport. First and 10 for Charlestown from their own 45-yard line. Once again with that spread formation. It's Cabral in the backfield. Now he's going to tuck it in and run.
No, he's going to
throw a good job. Over the middle. Gets it to Darius. Ricardo Darius
on
the sideline.
He got some room.
Darius got some room. He shoved out of bounds inside the 20.
Give the freshman all the credit in that one, Pat. And looks like Darius he's shaken up after the play. But watch this. Okay, he fakes twice. He's going to run. Gets it back to his right hand and then targets Darius. Puts it right between the 2 and the 7. And Darius goes down to the sideline. It's just like an awkward type of a fall, but good to see him get back up.
Nice play by the young freshman there.
He looked just like Russell Wilson.
I was just thinking he kind of has that style where he can switch hands and kind of just make it work like Russell Wilson does. So now from the 18-yard line on first down, the handoff over the right side and being dropped in the backfield for Charlestown. Big number 37 there is Hakeem Oligan. Came across to make the tackle.
See, that's one of the pet plays when McQueenie's playing for them. We see a lot of that going left and right, trying to get to that sideline.
Yeah, that was Kevon Doolin who just couldn't find any room. 2-yard loss in the play by Doolin, with Hakeem Oligan getting in there to wrestle him down. So it'll be 2nd and 12 now for Charlestown.
I like what Coach Cahill's doing with this freshman quarterback, allowing him to get out there, getting in that shotgun formation and fling the ball around the field.
Once again, it's Doolin, the lone back in the backfield. You got Curry at the bottom of your screen. Now they go with the wide receiver screen over the left side. And not much there for Wellington Arias, who couldn't find a lot of room. Now we get a flag after the whistle.
Yeah, I think we got a little too much emotion on the English defensive side.
Foul, 55.
Personal foul.
Personal foul, 55, taunting.
Yeah, it's one thing, Christian, for English after the play, had something to say to the Charlestown players. Let's see if we can catch it. Wide receiver, like you said, covered well. Gang tackling on the wide receiver. 55, yeah, 50 stepped over him, yeah, and said something.
Instead of another big loss there for Charlestown, it's going to be 3rd and about 4 for the Townies.
No, it should be. It should be.
Yeah, it should have
first
been
and
an
goal.
automatic first down.
Yeah, it should be 1st and goal, actually.
So they just have the marker wrong on the far sideline.
Like we've seen many times, the people with the sticks are usually
It's got to go. You got to go
high
to
school
half
players.
the distance, and then because of the personal foul.
I guess it's not an automatic first down. Normally, I would think it
Yeah,
would
well,
be.
it's half the distance, so it should be first. That's what Coach Cahill's asking.
This is this whole new federation rules issue where some of the teams just kind of don't understand them.
Yeah.
And these new refs are having a tough time with them too. So it's 3rd and 4 now for Charlestown.
Yeah, not much up the middle. But it's 4-down territory. I mean, you're already down 14-0. It's with 4 minutes to go in the first quarter here. Straight handoff, and there's not much there. You see Doolin, the fullback, trying to make his way. As a matter of fact, they mark him down as a loss. Lost a yard.
This will be 4th and we'll call it 5 now for Charlestown.
Power I formation.
The brawl rolling to his right, looking for a receiver. It's deflected and almost picked off. He had his eyes on Wellington Arias. And a nice job by the English defense deflecting that pass.
I'll tell you, this freshman, I mean, he put it in one of the only spots it could have been there. His receivers have got to just do a little better job of a little more effort to come back to the football to help him out. I mean, he's under some pressure. Just about every pass he's thrown, he's had some pressure in his face. He's getting the ball out there, so I think what's going to happen at halftime, Coach Cahill's going to just tell the receivers, look, guys, you got to come back to the ball. You can't wait for it to get to you all the time. And the quarterback's taking a couple of shots already. One was a penalty. They already had a roughing the passer penalty on. So he's getting hit almost every play.
So the first time in this game so far, English with not good field position as they have it at the 9-yard line. On first down, they hand it off over the left side. And that's Geathers on the carry. He makes his way up to the 8-yard line.
Yeah.
18-yard line, 13-yard line.
Yeah, Curry,
My apologies.
85, does a good job coming from the safety position. You'll see him left of your screen. He'll come up and force him to the sideline, then gets knocked down.
Yeah, Basabe Munoz getting in there for the stop as well.
There's actually 2 of them out there, number 8 and 9.
John and 1, Basabe Munoz.
For Charlestown.
Now on second down, English with the handoff over the right side to Kerr. And Kerr makes his way up to the 25-yard line. I make that the 20-yard line, excuse me. Should be a first down for Boston English.
Yeah, Kerr's had a good first quarter. Starting out with that block on the first play from scrimmage. And then he's able to score the 2-point conversion on one of the touchdowns with a good second effort. Okay, wide side of the field, double wide receivers over here.
So Geathers the lone back in the backfield for English. And now Boston English wants to call a timeout. Possibly some confusion on that formation.
That's interesting because they had 2 receivers over here to the wide side of the field, and Charlestown actually didn't adjust to that. They just brought Curry the safety, so they were still one-on-one in each of those receivers. Usually you like that formation to give you a chance, give your receivers a chance to go one-on-one.
Our sideline reporter Leverett Ball's got an update for us. Leverett, what do you have?
Thanks, guys. So English has obviously run the ball quite a bit, but look for them to get senior tight end Hakeem Alawagan involved a little bit more. Now, Alawagan is a team captain this year, and he's the team's best red zone threat from a passing standpoint. He's the two-way player, contributes a lot as a defensive end, but his main ability is his ability to score touchdowns. Look for them to try and work him in. Like I said, back to you.
Well, I'll tell you what, we sure can't miss him. He's 6'4", 225.
Big kid, that Hakeem Alawagan. We saw him with that big catch on that first English drive to set up the touchdown.
Yeah, number 17. He'll be around. See, now he's going to split out as a wide receiver.
So you got Alawagan actually out of your picture here on first down. As it's Smith with the carry on the quarterback keeper. Big pickup there for Ja'Kai Smith, who makes his way up to the 38-yard line. Make that the 39.
Well-designed play. And they had the big fella out there to block the cornerback, giving Smith the sideline. So you have like we said a few times, the Smith's good speed, knows how to cut, and again the safety had to come up from the back to make the tackle.
First down, it's Kerr again, slithering through the defense. Kerr shoved out of bounds at the 48-yard line. So a 9-yard pickup on first down there for Keyshawn Kerr.
Again, you're seeing English, the variety of their running attack. You use the quarterback, you use your tailback, you use your fullback. Keep the Charlestown defenders guessing. And as always, say it a lot, anytime your defensive backs, your leading tacklers, you're having a problem on defense.
5 different players getting carries so far in this game for Boston English. It's Smith again looking for an opening. This time, Charlestown thought they had him bottled up. Smith now back up the middle of the field. Now going to take it over the right side. Smith down the seam. Ja'Kai Smith back up the middle. Dragged down inside the 5-yard line. Mark him down at the 3. Another long run for Boston English.
Pat, if the track coach is around, he's going to want Smith to run the 200 and 400 because he ran all over the field. He basically reverse fields twice. This last cut tries to get to the end zone. Give some credit to, he finally does get run down, but not until he's inside the 5-yard line. Real close to being out of bounds. Did a good job tiptoeing that sideline to stay. I actually think Charlestown thought he was out of bounds because some of those players just didn't put a hit on him.
Eagles now looking for the 2-point conversion. The handoff to Kerr, who waltzes into the end zone for his second
That's the
2-point
touchdown.
conversion.
That's
of
the touchdown.
Touchdown.
Yeah, they actually they marked him down at the 3-yard line.
So Kerr punches it in from the 3 for the English Eagles.
Boy, I mean, in the open, we were talking about how unusual it is to see a team score 40 points in one game, but then the other 3 get shut out. And when you watch this English team, I mean, unfortunately, Charlestown's on demand. You know, and the few kids who aren't playing are some of their top players.
Right.
So, well, arguably their best players. And so you take them out, and you're bringing in a lot of underclassmen and inexperienced players who mentally just weren't expecting to play that much. And this is what you have.
Kerr back in there, and now it's Geathers getting the carry on the 2-point conversion. And he punches it in for the English Eagles. So Keyshawn Kerr with the 3-yard touchdown run. That was set up by the 49-yard scamper by Ja'Kai Smith, the quarterback for Boston English. Eagles now on top 22-0 over Charlestown. And you got a couple of different pieces this year for Boston English, but they're making them work so far here this evening.
No doubt. I mean, we've seen 5 different running backs get carries from scrimmage. The amazing play by Smith, the other amazing play by the safety on that first interception. So you give up those long plays, it's just deflating for the Charlestown team that's already on demand. So you just got to hope that the Charlestown kids will keep their heads up. And they actually had a good drive inside the 10-yard line. They just couldn't punch it in.
And then that nice play from the freshman quarterback to Ricardo Darius.
Yeah, that one's not going to go 10.
Attempt, and Charlestown fields it at the 47-yard line. Coming up to recover the football is Chris Michel, but if you're Coach Cahill looking at the film later on, you're going to try to probably tell Chris that you can leave that football alone.
Ball has to go 10 yards before the kicking team can even try to field it.
Tyshawn Jackson for Boston English shaking up on that play.
I think
he moves off the field.
I think he slipped on the coverage. Well, you got Charlestown starting in English territory for this drive. Let's see if this young offensive line can give the quarterback some time.
Townies now from the English 48. Cabral running for his life. Tries to throw it away. Ball falls incomplete.
Well, he was actually hindered by the referee, who didn't realize he was coming back that far. It's almost like the one thing Charlestown has is some receivers, but you've got to get some protection for the freshman quarterback to give him time to get the ball out of his hands.
So far, Ricky Cabral 2 for 7 through the air. That one big completion to Darius back on their last drive that they couldn't capitalize on.
Okay, Darius now is split out as a wide receiver.
Cabral under duress again and throws it towards the sideline. It's got to be a grounding penalty on Charlestown that is not called.
Well, Doolin was sort of in the area, but you're right, it was nowhere near. Seems now like the freshman just holding on to the ball too long. I mean, he is getting pressure, but at the same time, you either tuck it and run, or I mean, get rid of the ball to not get sacked, but at the same time, that was real close to intentional grounding, which really would have put them in a hole.
So Townies now faced with a 3rd and 10 from the Boston English 48-yard line.
Curry's out here again. There you
this
go.
time Cabral with some time throws a nice ball to the sideline. Was it caught?
That's a good catch.
I believe it was.
Yeah. Excellent job.
Streaking down the field for that nice catch down the sideline for Charlestown was Melvin Jones.
Boy, talk about showing some life. Came back to the football. Good job by Jones. Wow.
Got that 1 foot in.
He had excellent coverage on him.
So 32-yard connection from Cabral to Jones sets up Charlestown inside the 25-yard line of Boston English here late in the first quarter.
Looks like it's going to be the end of the first quarter, actually. The officials are going to bring the ball other side of the field. But it's good to see. I mean, like I said, that's of those 3 passes from that series, that's the only one that he got back and let it go early before the pressure came on him. I'm sure Coach Cahill will tell him, listen, you have success when you get the ball out of your hands. You can't wait for the perfect situation to have your guy open. So just get it and let it go.
Looks like that's the end of the first quarter here at Boston English. We still haven't gotten a signal for that, but we're going to assume it's the end of the first quarter. We'll be right back with the second quarter here on Game of the Week, folks, right after these words. Don't go away.
Green red hat. Oops. Red shirt, blue shirt, yellow shirt. Oops. Yellow pants, red pants, green pants. Oops.
Welcome back to Boston English High School in Jamaica Plain. Looks like that was not the end of the quarter.
The officials talked themselves out of it.
Yeah, I guess they decided, let's just keep going. So we believe there's 15 seconds left in the quarter. Charlestown with a 1st and 10 after the big completion. Cabral back to throw, looking for the screen, and throws it into some coverage, and that ball falls incomplete. Luckily for Cabral, that could have been picked off.
Yeah,
easily.
I mean, Doolin was right there. He did have a chance at it, but like you said, he was covered well. More of the same. I just hope that Cabral figures this out. When he holds the ball too long, bad things happen. See, Doolin actually had a chance for that. The defense is all over him. I mean, even though you're down 22-0, if Charlestown can get in, we still got 3 quarters to go.
No question. It's just, it's so early that they put up 22 points that Charlestown's got plenty of time to put something together. Now on 2nd down, the handoff over the left side, and Doolin just nowhere to go. Tons of penetration.
Yeah, see those
from the English front 7.
See, those plays are designed for a bit of a speedier back. I mean, Doolin's more of a pounder inside. And to ask him to sprint out to the sidelines, he's just not that type of player.
Tyrese Ford coming in for the stop in the backfield. And now we're at the end of the first quarter here at Boston English High School. The English Eagles on top of the Charlestown Townies 22-0. We're going to have to break when we come back to the second quarter here on Game of the Week right after these words. Don't go away.
Just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Welcome back to Boston English High School in Jamaica Plain for Game of the Week. The Boston English Blue Eagles lead Charlestown 22-0. Folks, if you want to follow us on social media, certainly go to our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/GameOfTheWeekBoston. A lot of good stuff up on that site. You can also follow us on Twitter. Go to at Boston City TV. If you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. So Charlestown, despite the deficit, with another big play to get them inside the 25-yard line of Boston English. But now, after a couple of negative run plays, it's going to be 3rd and 15, make that 3rd and 16 for the Charlestown Townies. Ricky Cabral, the freshman quarterback, going to have to do something again here on 3rd and long. Again, facing pressure. Escapes pressure that time, gets rid of the football, finds his receiver, and no gain on the play. The ball actually fell incomplete. I don't even know how Cabral got out of that pass rush.
Yeah, he was able to spin away from the would-be sack. But again, see, he's given so much ground, even by the time he throws the ball, he's literally just throwing it back to the line of scrimmage. But again, he's a freshman, and I mean, talk about taking his lumps. That's what's happening tonight. And he'll learn a couple of things. That when he has the chance to get rid of it early, you got to do more of that. And also, he just gives so much ground going back. He actually has some decent speed, but he's using it going backwards and allowing the rush to just chase him down.
Fourth and 16 now for Charlestown. Cabral to the end zone.
Oh,
pass deflected at the last second. Getting in there for Boston English was Pedro Barrero, as Cabral was looking at the back of the end zone for Melvin Jones, who had that good reception last time.
Melvin was the one who got him down there.
That's right.
Well thrown ball. See it in the air, the spiral, and like you said, excellent defensive play to knock it away by Barrero. So English will take over.
Cabral's got a nice arm.
He really does. That's
a young guy.
I'm telling you, and the way English is playing this defensively, they're putting pressure on him.
Nice shot there of Cabral and Steve Williams. Steve was the starting quarterback last year for Charlestown.
We got a penalty on English. It looks like Charlestown's going to keep the football.
23 taunting. Three taunting.
Okay, number 3.
Taunting, standing over the kid, taunting him.
Omari Stevens called for the taunting penalty for Boston English.
They're told not to talk.
Oh.
The scoreboard. That's all he had to say. That's all he said.
Of course, he's good.
The officials are explaining the penalty. Well, even with the 15 yards, it wasn't enough for a first down for Charlestown. So, it says on number 3. Yeah, that's a little bit there.
Yeah, that's sort of borderline, but you can see what the referee was seeing there. So that backs Boston English up to the 12-yard line. The 1st and 10 for the Eagles with their first offensive possession of the second quarter. Smith back to throw, looking deep down the right side. He's got a receiver at the 50 who fumbles the football. Fumbles it at the 44. That was Barrero. I'm sorry, that was not Barrero who made the catch there. That was Giovanni Antoine who made the catch.
Excellent catch, too. Too bad he just lost control as he was trying to tuck it in. Great catch, but then just couldn't quite tuck it in. Also, the defender helped him bobble it. You see Curry going after it and gets possession for Charlestown. It's too bad because Curry didn't know he had the entire field wide open if he just picked it up, but he made the right play to get possession. And watch when as Curry comes by.
Yeah, Wellington Arias getting in there to strip the football out of his hands.
There's no one around Curry. No English players around Curry. But they get the ball back.
It's a little bit of a momentum shift here for Charlestown. We'll see if they can put a couple more plays together. They've been able to get that big play going. They've had a couple of big pass plays, but no steady drive down the field so far.
The formation is there. Curry's up there 1-on-1, wide side of the field.
Jones at the bottom of your screen. Doolin once again, the deep back for Charlestown. The brawl finds his receiver, but the ball falls incomplete. It was Wellington Arias looking for the catch.
Arias trying to run before he actually pulled it in. I agree with you, Pat. The freshman has a good arm and he has no problem throwing it against pressure. He's getting pressure the entire time. Well, actually, I didn't see it the first time. It was a little deflected. But
it looked like a tip there late, right before it got to Arias. Those are always the toughest catches to make.
Yeah, because you set your arms and your hands ready, then when the ball gets deflected going a different direction, throws everything off. But as long as English stays in that, English is just playing to pressure the freshman quarterback. So they're giving some open space downfield to the wide receivers. and they're betting on the fact that the quarterback's not going to be able to get the ball down there. He's completed, 3 big plays so far, but like you said, there's nothing consistent. You can't back it up with anything else.
Looks like Boston English takes a timeout here with 10:57 left to go in the second quarter. I saw some players from English, again, talking a little bit to the Charlestown team on the far sideline after that incomplete pass. So I'm not sure if the referees then called Coach Conway over and said, you got to say something to your guys or we're going to start throwing more flags. I don't know if that's what's
possible.
Going on right now.
But it's very possible because we always talk about emotion in football, and that's exactly what we have here. And we knew it before the game started. The teams, they're off to bad starts. Charlestown comes into this game 0-2. You got English coming in here 1-3, getting shut out 3 times. So there's a lot of angst on both sides. Then you add Charlestown's problem of losing a few of their best players. So Charlestown's just trying to stay above water and survive. Meanwhile, English wants to have a really big, lopsided game like they did when they beat East Boston 40-0. English has a huge crowd here supporting them, a lot of students, family, friends.
Yeah, this field just across the street from the school. Always a solid crowd here at Boston English. 2nd and 10 now for Charlestown. Cabral throws it over to Curry. Julian Curry with a stiff arm down the sideline. Forced out of bounds right at the 45-yard line of Boston English. That's going to be right on the first down marker.
That's one of the first times they brought Curry in tight formation through a wide receiver screen. Good job by the freshman. Curry couldn't get a better pass than that. Used a stiff arm to get himself the first down. And that's got to help with the quarterback. I mean, he's been trying to throw deep downfield a lot the entire game. There's the pressure again. The English coaches are convinced that they keep the pressure on the freshman. He's going to have a tough time and make some mistakes. He already has a couple of interceptions, but again, he's had some good completions too. Another screen, right in the middle. Wow.
This time Jones is dropped in the backfield, 2-yard loss. This time it's Jonathan Pierre Joseph with the tackle.
Another screen is, do you see the pressure? Wow, Pierre Joseph had that lined up. So 2nd and 12. There you see. Well, he's 5 for 15, and he's probably taking that many lumps too, because he's getting hit on a lot of these plays.
That's right.
I'll tell you, I would like to see him run. I'd like to see him set up that screen and have him just tuck it under, because he's shown some decent speed.
Charlestown really having a tough time with the rushing game, -7 yards on the ground. So if your quarterback can get out there on a couple of bootlegs or a couple of plays where he can get out in space, maybe that'll loosen some things up for the running back.
The way the English is rushing him, they a fake and then have him run, that could catch them running the wrong way.
Trying for a stretch play here on 2nd down. It's Melvin Jones looking for the edge, but he's going to lose ground. 5-yard loss on the play, make that a 4-yard loss on the play, so it'll be 3rd and 16 now for Charlestown.
Yeah, teams always try to use speed to take advantage of the wide side of the field, but when you have a pursuing defense like English, I mean, they're so fired up now with this 22-0 lead. They're running at everything. And then the problem is you don't have the experienced players from Charlestown to even think about like a reverse type play or a scissor play, something that's going to be a little too intricate. It's tough to have your inexperienced guys try something like that. So that's exactly what that could burn this English defense, because they are flying to everything. Wherever the balls go, all the guys go over there. You come back with a reverse, you have a lot of open fields.
3rd and 16 now for the Townies. Cabral trying to step up in the pocket, loses the football. Ball is fumbled at the Charlestown 45-yard line. That's where it's recovered by Boston English.
This time he does get sacked and also has the ball punched out.
Pedro Barrero there to recover it.
Well, it's been more of the same. I mean, English is coming after him. That's the game plan. I'm sure on the sideline just saying, listen, fellas, if we hit him enough, he's going to crumble.
First and 10 now for Boston English from the Charlestown 45-yard line. The 22-0 lead. They're about midway through the second quarter. First down, they try the receiver screen, and once again, unable to come up with the pass is Giovanni Antoine.
That was close to being a Charlestown touchdown. As Bassett Bermudez, watch the way he comes up on this. Right at his screen. After the ball's bounced, he actually has a chance to come and get this, but one step away. After that deflection, that could have gone the other direction.
That was one of those plays, too, where that could have been almost a backwards pass. It was a forwards pass, but
yeah, that's
close
right.
to a backwards pass,
and
but
if
that
it
would
could
have been a
lateral,
ball.
it would have been a fumble, right.
Kai Smith right now, 2 for 4, 73 yards through the air to go along with his 49-yard scamper. He's actually got 67 yards rushing, and he's poised for more. Smith with a nice cut back down the right sideline. Smith been drilled right around the 15. Another big first down there for the Boston English quarterback.
I think we got a holding penalty coming to bring that back. But like you said, Pat, excellent run by Smith. I'm telling you, this kid should have been playing 2 years ago. I mean, the way this is just natural football instincts. He's going to come back, but doesn't take away from his individual run on that one. Looked like he actually missed the handoff, but you can't, hard to tell if it was a designed fake handoff or he just missed the handoff. Made something out of nothing. But they'll start over again.
Second down is 2.
So the holding penalty occurred a couple of yards downfield past the down marker, so they only get backed up to the 43-yard line of Charlestown, so it'll be second down and 8 now for Boston English.
Charlestown just trying to find a way to keep themselves in the game defensively.
Man in motion. Now it's a low snap. Smith's just going to have to pick it up and eat the football right there. Back in English territory, they'll mark him down at the 42.
Well, if that something comes because of an English mistake, that's fine too. Second time we had a low snap. The ball just didn't rise up, and Smith had to just keep possession. Take a hit.
They mark English down at the make that the 41-yard line.
Huge loss, though, so it's going to be
third and 24 now for Boston English.
Haven't had any punch in the game by either team so far, but this may be our first time for one.
Power I formation for Boston English. Kerr, the deep back, gets the toss over the left side, and Charlestown gang tackles Keyshawn Kerr right around the 44-yard line. And now Boston English will have to put the football.
A good job on that one. Curry, 85, forces Kerr to go back inside, and where his teammates are able to hold him to a short gain. Yeah, Curry's been around. He's been all over the field for Charlestown defensively. He starts out as the free safety. Then that play, he came up to the line to play defensive end. They're missing a player.
Boston English.
They're missing the punter. You got to have him.
He's key when you have to put the football. Back to kick is number 21, Jonathan Pierre-Joseph. Low spiraling kick that takes a favorable bounce for Boston English. Past the 25-yard line, down to the 23-yard line. That's where they will mark it down. And that's where Charlestown will get their next possession. Here with about 5:13 left in the second quarter.
A good catch on that high snap. But you can't blame the punter that much. They haven't punted the whole game.
That's right.
And they, so all of a sudden, it's 4th and long. So he must have been just over there on the bench relaxing.
So first punt of the game results in a solid kick there for Boston English. Charlestown takes over at their own 23-yard line here with 5:13 left to go in the second quarter. Townies still looking for their first score. As we mentioned, they've had a couple of pass plays that have gotten them inside the 25. They haven't been able to get much deeper. Now on first down, handoff over the right side, just nothing going in their running game.
Yeah, Doolin. Big fullback. Yeah, it has been a strange sort of contrast for Charlestown. It's either a big play or nothing. And like I said, it appears that their skill guys are the wide receivers. The big boy Curry.
And Melvin Jones.
And Jones, right.
Plays.
Jones the one with those sideline routes. Okay, 4 wide receivers to one side for Charlestown.
They're on the short side of the field, too. Cabral escaping pressure. Now going to tuck it in and run. And Cabral is dropped at the 27-yard line. Make that the 28.
Okay, fake that way and come back. This is the closest thing they've had to reverse the entire game as he comes back and again. It's just chased down. I mean, the problem with the Cabral just had pressure. Every time he goes back to pass the ball, sometimes he gets hit. Other times he's just sort of running to avoid a hit. That wears you down. And we're still in the first half.
3:35 left to go before halftime. Cabral again running for his life. Again escapes pressure. Got to throw it away, and
let's see if he threw it. He might have gone out of bounds. Yeah, luckily for him, he went out of bounds. I mean, he, out of frustration, looks like he just threw the ball down, which would have been an intentional grounding, but he may have been out of bounds already.
So that wipes out his gain on.
Yeah, see, he just throws. He was out of bounds already.
Second down. Yeah. So now it'll be 4th and 11 for Charlestown. So this freshman going to take some lumps.
Oh, yeah.
And we've seen it so far here in the first half. He's going to take some more in the second half. Charlestown's high on this kid, though. They really like him.
Well, he's shown a good arm.
They handed him the reins as a freshman, and this is sort of sometimes a growing pain.
You're absolutely right, because it's not common to see a coach give the starting job to a freshman. And clearly he has a good arm. There's no doubt about that. But coming into the game, we knew they had a lot of experience in their offensive line. And that's just not a good formula when you have a freshman quarterback.
Charlestown now going to punt the football. Jones back to kick for the Townies. High snap. Jones gets a solid punt off. And it's fielded by Stevens right around the 48-yard line. Omari Stevens with a nice cut back upfield. Stevens still on his feet. Dragged down by Charlestown at the 38-yard line. So Omari Stevens with a good return for the Eagles.
Good job by Stevens to field this, and you see the wall set up by English, and Stevens just tucks the ball in when he needs to. Now, see what here's a play that came from Florida. One of the kids was transferred from Florida.
Jonty White came from
Florida.
White.
Okay,
He's actually not playing tonight.
Not playing.
He's one of the receivers that
I was thinking,
English has been happy about.
And he's usually been one of the punt returners also.
That's right. So they are missing a weapon here tonight, but a lot of guys have stepped up at the skill positions. Scissor play inside this time for English, picking up a good gain on first down with Terrell Geathers getting the carry.
And the reason the English is they're just sort of flying around the field. All these players know that at any play they can be the guy to get the ball. So they're all playing sharp. And the ones who play both ways, offense and defense, they're feeling good about pitching the shutout so far. Back to that power I formation.
2nd down and 6 now for English. Handoff to Keyshawn Kerr as he makes his way past the 25 up to the 23.
Looks like a first down. We've got to say, all the running backs for English have been running hard. I mean, they just have that confidence that, okay, when I get to the line of scrimmage, something's going to be open. Like, there's going to be some room. I just got to find it. Tight formation, just one receiver.
Give it to Kerr again. Huge hole for him over the left side. Keyshawn down the sideline. Does he get into the end zone is the question.
He's right at the pylon.
Does he fall in?
Touchdown.
Yes, he does. Touchdown, Keyshawn Kerr. "23-yard score."
Watch
the
Kerr.
English Eagle.
He's going to put a little bit of a burst right here, and then he runs into Curry. And the pile just sort of, like you say, rugby style, gets him over the goal line.
Here's another look at the Kerr touchdown.
Like I said, all these runners just have that confidence that we can make a big play whenever we touch the ball. All right, there's going to be a penalty on English. Let's see if it's dead ball.
What number did you have? 77 with a block in the back.
Okay.
Block in the back at the end of the play.
So that'll take the touchdown off the board.
Wipes the touchdown out, so it's still just 22-0. And that brings English back to the, looks like the 13-yard line. Boston English with a 1st and 10 from the 13. They hand it off to Keyshawn. He fumbles the football.
And Charlestown has it.
Charlestown recovers right around the 23-yard line. So another break there for Charlestown as English is unable to punch it in.
You see, that's one of the few mishaps on a handoff for English. They actually been getting good success out of that running back in motion with the handoff. That time Kerr couldn't pull it in.
So Ricky Cabral, the freshman for Charlestown, will have another chance at it. Clock's still running here at the stadium. So hopefully the referees have the clock down on the field.
Looking back to what we thought was a touchdown by Kerr, you'll see 77 blocking the back. Well, that actually could have been.
That could have been a personal foul.
I was going to say, could have been a personal foul very easily.
So Charlestown should have over a minute to go here before halftime. The clock was not stopped properly.
Here's the quarterback
change
draw.
of possession. Cabral down the sideline. Was the
Curry
catch
catch
made?
it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, Curry has it.
Julian Curry coming up with the grab. What a play.
Using those basketball hands, right?
Like he's going up for a rebound. Now the referees are going to have a discussion.
Again, Cabral makes something out of nothing. Curry, well, he definitely has the
Wow,
ball.
what a catch.
No doubt about that. It's just a matter of whether he has a foot in bounds.
That was one-handed.
Oh, you're right, Pat. The officials have to have the clock on the field because it ran during that whole discussion.
1st and 10 for Charlestown here from their own 48-yard line. The brawl again to the sideline. Again, he's got his man. That time it was Ricardo Darius.
We got another flag. We're going to have another flag on English. All this talking and taunting is going to keep costing English penalty yardage.
All right, they offset. All right, second.
Okay, so I think Boston, from what we're hearing.
No, it's at 112. Was 112. 112. We're at 112.
So we're at 112 left in the second quarter. Both the Charlestown sideline was talking along with the Boston English defensive players. So they're going to wipe out the 2 penalties, and they're going to repeat first down.
Yeah.
1:12 left on the clock here for Charlestown. Oh, they are going to count that play, so it's going to be 2nd down and 6 now for Charlestown.
Okay, now the English
coach
Conway wants to know.
Because he's trying to figure out if they had penalties and they offset, they should replay the down.
Exactly, right.
So Coach Conway is trying to talk to these
Well,
refs
unless they're saying it was dead ball. Unless they're saying it was after the play.
We're as confused up in the announcer booth as Coach Conway is down on the field.
I think the referee is trying to say it was after the play, which means that the play would stand. But
correct.
That wasn't, because that wasn't announced. Coach Conway has every right to ask why don't we go back to the line of scrimmage. I'm just surprised. I mean, I understand that you have a frustrated Charlestown sideline, but the entire half we've seen English just give away yardage with taunting penalties.
That's right.
So why you would say anything that's going to offset what was another taunting penalty? You're just talking about getting free yardage or not getting free yardage. But I think it goes back to what you were saying earlier, Pat. And you said a couple of games, but the change in the federation rules is an adjustment for everybody. I think when you look at it on paper, it seems simple, nothing huge. But when a play tries to play out, when you have officials, players, and coaches who are used to the old way, it's different.
The brawl looking for Jones down the sideline. That one falls incomplete. I mean, the biggest change is the timeouts in the time in the quarter. It's now 12 across the board, along with just 3 timeouts per half. But there's a lot of little intricacies in rules and how penalties are enforced and how penalty yardage is counted out, and downs and that sort of thing, that is different in the federation rules than it is in the NCAA. We've talked about before, too, how a lot of these high school referees also referee
college,
Division III, Division II college games on Saturdays. So now they got to learn a whole new set of rules that they're going to use on Friday nights and then use a completely different set of rules on Saturday nights. They just changed this over the offseason. You didn't allow
not much time.
You didn't allow the coaches and the refs a year to figure it all out. You know, to me, the MIA should have allowed the coaches and the referees a year to adjust. Say a year from now, this is what we're going to do. So you guys got to learn this.
Study this.
Have some clinics.
There you go.
So forth. But that didn't happen. And we don't know if that's what's going on down on the field tonight with different penalties and so forth.
The one thing is definite.
But all season it seems.
I was just going to say, all the games we've done, we've had more conferences on the field than we have any other season, easily.
The brawl over the middle. And that one's low and incomplete.
So English will take over on downs. That was the 4th down play. Yeah, he couldn't get enough on that one. That was his 20th attempt in the game. 7 completions so far.
Boston English takes over with just under a minute left to go here in the second quarter. Been a very long first half for both these teams with all the turnovers and incomplete passes. Now on first down, Smith going down the left side of the field, and
that's a big fella.
The big fella Hakeem coming up with the catch, the big tight end.
Well, you actually call him a combination tight end and wide receiver. We talked about his size. Throw it up, give him a chance to go after it, and this is exactly what this play turns out to be. Those big hands, number 17.
So Olau again coming up with that big catch. He's now got 2 big receptions tonight. Gets English inside the 25-yard line. Now it's Keyshawn over the right side, showing off his speed. Is he going to get in again? Yes, he will. Another touchdown for Keyshawn Kerr. 3rd touchdown of the night for the sophomore running back for Boston English.
Sometimes when the corner collapses, it's just speed. He outran the defensive end, the linebacker, and the cornerback.
My apologies, just 2 rushing touchdowns tonight so far for Keyshawn Kerr. They had to call that one back on the block in the back penalty. So Kerr now with 11 rushes, and he's at the century mark with 100 yards. Smith rolling to his right, back of the end zone. What a catch from Olawagan. 2-point conversion is good for Boston English.
Talk about going up and getting it. That was slightly overthrown. Watch him go up and get this one. Yeah. I think the defensive back thought I was overthrown. He didn't even try to make a play on it.
Everybody else in the stadium. But Hakeem going up and getting the football right there. So English now on top, 30-0. Here with 29 seconds left to go before halftime.
And again, you're going back to the beginning of the game when we found out that some of the key players for Charlestown would not be playing tonight. Gotta feel bad for these kids who are out here because they're like you said, taking their lumps on both sides of the football. Even though they've made some big plays offensively, they have not been able to put 2 of those plays together in the same drive to try to get into the end zone.
One thing you mentioned too, especially with Terrell McQueen and some of the other guys out. I mean, Terrell is a running back, and now the onside kick is recovered by Boston English at the 45-yard line.
There's a lapse that time by Chris Michelle, not going after the football after the win 10 yards.
You talk about McQueenie and how he's the starting running back, he's starting linebacker, he's the kicker, he's the punter. He
returns kicks and punts.
Right. And so does Jawan Ryan, who's basically been out all season.
And in a game like this, where you have English with that squib kick, McQueenie would have been up on the front line, looking to get a return.
So you have a guy who fills a lot of holes for you in a lot of different areas of the game, and you're just missing that guy.
And it happens a lot when players get hurt. But when that happens, the team is sort of prepared. Okay, we got to replace him. But this is, unfortunately, just one of those sudden type things.
But you can also see how some of these other guys in Charlestown fill certain roles for this team. Now they have to step up and do a little bit more than they're used to. Good pass rush here by Charlestown.
Good job.
Coming away with the sack in the backfield for the Townies was Will Jenkins, the senior.
Player. Well, that's a player who's not quitting. He's one of the seniors, like you said. Good. Watch him run him down. He can run down. And Smith got some speed, but Jenkins did a good job to stay with it and run him down.
I don't think Boston English is going to get this off before halftime.
There you go.
And they don't. So at the half here at Boston English High, it's the Eagles 30, Charlestown zip. And Boston English showing a lot of different ways of how they can score. You know, Keyshawn Kerr has probably had the best half of
amazing
anybody,
half.
but Ja'Kai Smith, the quarterback, also getting it done. And they're getting some good blocking up front.
Well, two things. Charlestown being undermanned obviously is shown on both sides of the football. And English's decision to just go after the freshman quarterback from Charlestown. That's what's really turned the tide and made it like it's lopsided 30-0, obviously. And it's interesting because, like you said, the few big plays that Charlestown's had have been passes downfield when the freshman's been able to get the ball out of his hands. But he had 7 completions out of 20 attempts.
Right.
And might be more of the same in the second half.
That's right. I mean, you really don't have any semblance of a running game for Charlestown. A lot of it has to do with the blocking up front, but also your top backs are out tonight, so you have guys who aren't used to carrying the football as much, maybe get 4 or 5 carries a game. They have negative 16 yards here in the first
and
half.
we just don't see that. I mean, with all the games we do, even when teams don't have a good running attack, they're able to get something going positively. That's just not happening. All the yards that Charlestown's had, all through the air, and like you said, they can't put 2 of those big plays together. If they could, they'd be in the end zone a couple of times.
That's right. So we'll see if these teams can make some adjustments here at the half. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, before we go to break, we're going to go down to our sideline reporter, Leverett Ball, who's got one of the coaches tonight. Leverett, what do you have?
Thanks, guys. So first off, Coach, obviously with the team trailing going into halftime, what adjustments would you like to see your guys make coming out of the half?
Just blocking and tackling. That's what we've been preaching all week. Just blocking, tackling, doing the little things right.
And I know you're dealing with some injuries at the running back position and other positions. How much of a challenge is it for the guys to get in a rhythm? When your normal lineup is not out there.
It's a great deal of a challenge. Not having certain guys in certain spots that we hope for them to be there, and then having inexperience at quarterback. That's a big deal for us. So we were hoping to have those guys, and unfortunately we don't. So that was a big deal for us. It was a hard blow.
And, as a coach, what can you say, what types of things can you say to the guys at the half just to get them pumped up and get them ready to go in the second half and battle back?
Honestly, just getting better. Blocking and tackling. Again, like I said, that's what we preached all week. Blocking, tackling, doing the little things.
Well, Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck in the second half. Back to you.
Thanks very much, Leverett and Coach Dean. Certainly, this is a tough game for these coaches, too, because they know that they're missing some of their best guys. They're also missing some other guys who aren't playing tonight for similar reasons. And when you have to overhaul a ton of pieces
in a short period of
time, it makes it very difficult.
Oh, and you hate seeing it. High school, over the years, we've seen a number of these games like this where teams through injury or suspension or whatever is shorthanded, and they could probably play a lot better if they just had their whole squad.
That's right.
And unfortunately, it's like a seesaw. English has their whole squad. They may be missing 1 or 2 kids, but believe me, they got like 6 running backs already.
Right. They have a lot of depth.
You got a quarterback who can throw the ball and run the ball. So it's one of those situations where it really just lines up to be a wide score, and that's what we have right here at halftime, 30-0.
Well, we'll see what kind of adjustments these teams can make at the half, especially Charlestown. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have our halftime stats, and we'll just be ready for the third quarter here on Game of the Week right after these words. Don't go away.
Foster safety. Foster hope. Foster joy. Foster curiosity. Foster support. Become a foster parent, because every parent makes a difference. Foster, Massachusetts.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be?
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
First time I tried biking, and it was laying around my mom's house. And then I kept taking them whenever I could get them. I didn't know they'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Do you want to retire like a champ? Just like legendary basketball star Uncle Drew?
Don't do him like that, Uncle Drew!
You're already acing the game. You've got your dream ride.
Don't be slamming my door.
Sorry about that.
You just did the same. Gotta get the boys.
Your dream vacation and your dream team. And now you can make your retirement just as legendary.
I get buckets.
Get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Queen is just my everything.
His smile did it. His smile, his eyes, his knowledge. My landlord, he decided that he wanted me to move based on the fact that I was transgender. Let's just respect people in everyday life for just being human.
No doubt you're going places, young lady.
Thank you. And thank you for the interview as well. I can imagine it was the last thing that you wanted to do after such a long campaign meeting.
You really are a very intelligent young woman. You're very smooth.
You're very smooth yourself.
You have no idea.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No. He's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back to Boston English High School in Jamaica Plain. Here on Game of the Week, the English Eagles lead the Charlestown Townies 30-0 here at the half. And folks, we're going to take a look at our halftime stats before we get rolling again here in the third quarter. And first up here for our halftime stats is going to be the Charlestown Townies.
Yeah, rough sledding, and you can see it right there. The numbers definitely bear it out. As rushing, I mean, we've never seen that before, ever. 1 for 1. Receiving, Curry had 2 catches for 47 yards. Jones, 2 catches for 30 yards. That's what we were saying. The only offense they've had is when they've thrown the ball downfield. Cabral ended up 7 for 20 for 123 yards in the interception in that first half.
Let's take a look at English's halftime stats.
The total opposite is Kerr. 11 carries, 100 yards already in the one half, 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion. Smith, the quarterback, 7 carries, 49 yards and a touchdown. the big hands, big tight end, wide receiver. Ola Gunn with 3 catches, 69 yards. Antoine a catch for 37 yards, and Smith only throws the ball 6 times, but 106 yards and a touchdown pass. So English, you talk about having it all going. Meanwhile, Charlestown, other than a few passing plays, not much else.
And you see Kerr with the halftime highlights here, and he was outstanding there in the first half with his deceptive speed.
And he had a touchdown called back. Yeah, probably his most exciting run of the half was called back on a holding penalty.
Yeah, 100 yards on the ground. Here was the one that was called back, at least part of the run on the blocking the back penalty at the end of the play, or else he'd have 3 touchdowns tonight. But this touchdown run just before halftime was really nice.
All speed, using the angle. As a matter of fact, his speed beat the angle from the defensive back. Coaches love to see that when they have a player who can start out in the background behind the quarterback and just use his speed to get to the corner, get into that pylon. So English has it all going. I mean, they're called Eagles, but coaches may want to change that to Jekyll and Hyde, right? I mean, they scored 40 against East Boston. They have 30 on the board now here at halftime, and the way that their defense is playing, admittedly against a very undermanned Charlestown offense, this team may have one of the most amazing starts.
Right.
We're talking about all your points in 2 games, okay, and no points in 3 other games.
That's right.
That's just, it's hard to even fathom how a high school team can do that.
Unconventional, to say the least, here for Boston English. Folks, we're going to head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the start of the 3rd quarter here at English High in Jamaica Plain right after these words.
We just finished dinner, and it was time for homework. He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's just gotta
trying as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Welcome back to Boston English High School in Jamaica Plain for our Game of the Week coverage here at English High as the English Eagles lead Charlestown 30-0. Charlestown about to kick off to Boston English to start the 3rd quarter here on Game of the Week.
I mean, English now, looking back on it, they won the toss and decided to defer, and I can see why, because they wanted to put that aggressive defense on the field, put all that pressure on the freshman quarterback from Charlestown, and it definitely worked. Split kick now by Charlestown.
Yeah, and it's English who fields it nicely at the 46-yard line. You see Angel Ortega fielding the kick there. Oh, excuse me, it wasn't Angel.
The Angel's going after it, but his teammate was able to get it for him.
Alejandro Fernandez.
Fernandez, right. Okay.
Recovering it for Boston English. We saw Boston English last year, undefeated regular season, then ripped off 2 playoff wins before getting beat very handily by Pope John in that rainy evening game up in Everett. Pope John went on to win the Division VIII Super Bowl. Here on first down, the handoff again is to Curry. Makes his way past midfield up at the 49-yard line. 4-yard pickup on the play.
More of the same. In between tackles this time as Kerr gets tripped up before he can actually get into full gear. I just like what Smith's doing. I'm just trying to imagine what would make him not want to play football 2 seasons ago.
I mean English,
as good
English,
as he is.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, you would think he would want to, even if he wasn't going to be able to play quarterback, maybe get it.
Well, he's definitely a running back. I mean, he clearly has good hands. We've seen him. I mean, that big run with the 53-yarder inside the 3-yard line. I mean, he reversed his field twice on that one play. Excellent arm. So I don't know. I'm sure English is glad they have him now.
That's right.
But I mean, and think back, the last 2 seasons, they went back and forth. They had 2 quarterbacks that they couldn't really decide.
Maybe that's why Ja'Kai didn't want to play.
That's very possible.
He could have been the 3rd guy the past 2 seasons. But he's certainly the #1 guy this year. Now on 2nd down, it's Smith on the quarterback keeper, and he's dragged down at the 43. Very close to a 1st down. I think he might be a half a yard short. Meanwhile, there's a player down on the far side of the field on the Charlestown sideline. He came out after the play before this one, so trainers over there looking at him. Couldn't quite see who it is. And they're going to give English the 1st down there.
That's the last thing Charlestown needs is losing any more players. They're already short-handed. You see tighter look, just natural running instincts.
Now on 1st down, Smith looking for the slip screen over to Olawagan, and Hakeem with a good catch and run there for Boston English. He makes his way past the 30 up to the 29-yard line.
And normally, coach does not want the ball to be this high to make the receiver have to go off the ground to get it, but Olawagan just makes the play anyway and gets upfield. Saw him walk by at halftime. He has huge hands, long arms,
big
huge
kid.
hands.
Hakeem Olawagan, I believe that was his 3rd reception this evening, and all 3 of them went for 1st downs. 4th reception.
And he had the 2-point conversion.
Including the 2-point conversion. It was probably his best catch of the night. Now on 1st down, the handoff again. This time it's Omari Stevens with a carry. And Stevens is dragged down at the 22.
But this one's coming back. Going to be a hold at the line of scrimmage. I mean, other than the penalties, Pat, this game could be close to 50.
Number 10 hold.
Think about it. English has had a bunch of penalties on defense for taunting, and they've had a couple of holding penalties. Well, it's right there. It's a pretty obvious one, actually. So can't miss that one.
Yeah, Terrell Geathers called for the hold there. So that'll back English up to the Charlestown 43-yard line.
Yeah, Darius had no chance to get to the running back on that one.
Smith over the right side's got his receiver Geathers, and Geathers is dragged down at the 31-yard line.
Good job by Geathers. He was able to go down and get one of the few passes off target. I mean, he had to force him to go down, break his stride, but then gets chased down.
Geathers, who was called for that holding penalty, tries to pick up some of that yardage back with that reception. It'll be 2nd down and 12 now for Boston English. Handoff over the left side to Herbie Exelholm. And Herbie scampers his way up to the 22-yard line.
I'm actually a little surprised we haven't seen him get the ball more. I mean, he's so creative with his running, and he has all the skills. They have another injured Townie. I mean, the way English is running, I mean, they're getting off the ball. The offensive, we talked about English's offensive line not having a lot of experience, but they're playing together, and they're definitely opening holes for these running backs. And they're giving protection to Smith. So if we were thinking about, I know I was thinking about which offensive line is going to play better to give their team a chance. I mean, English just started out. That early touchdown, I think, emotionally really did a lot for the English team.
So as we have this injury, which we believe is Ricardo Darius down on the field with Charlestown, Herbie Exelholm's brother, Irving Exelholm, is down on the field with our sideline reporter, Leverett Ball. So we're going to hear from Leverett right now. Leverett?
Thanks, guys. So I'm joined now by Irvin Exelholm, the brother of Herbie Exelholm, the senior running back for English. Now, first off, Irvin, what's it like, being able to come back here and see your brother play?
It's a great feeling. You know what I'm saying? He's a beast out there, just like everybody else. So, you know, I always enjoy watching his games and stuff like that. So, you know, it's always a pleasure and a blessing to always see him play out there, man.
Yeah, and it has to be a lot of fun, especially with the way he and his team are playing, dominating to this point. And I know you played football in the area at West Roxbury. What was your time like playing there?
I mean, I had some rough times. You know, there's times, you know, the score was the way it was, and we was on the other side. But, you know, I turned that around my senior year. You know what I'm saying? But it was a great time, though. I had a great time with my teammates. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would do it all over again.
And, you know, when we talked off camera, you said that, you know, you're both a QB and wide receiver in high school. Your brother's a tailback. What pointers, if any, do you give him?
You know, he's just like me. He's a whole athlete. You know what I'm saying? You know, he can play, you know, running back. He could be a receiver. You know what I'm saying? Play corner on defense. You know, he's very physical, just like me. So, you know, we're all athletes out here. You know, we don't just play one position.
All right, well, Irving, thank you for your time.
Of course, thank you.
All right, back to you.
Lever, thanks very much. We saw Irvin play for West Roxbury not too long ago. Remember him? Very good.
Oh, yeah, and similar to his brother.
Receiver, quarterback,
exactly.
Right. They're both sort of Swiss Army knife type of players for their teams.
Penalty on Charlestown on that last play.
Nice handoff up the middle here for Boston English. That's number 30 getting the carry, Luke McDonald.
Is that number 7 running back to run for English tonight now?
Coach Conway has praised Luke for his play at linebacker so far this year, and now getting a nice carry, plowing forward.
Yeah, use some of that physicality with the ball in your hand. Yeah, you watch a game like this, I'm telling you, and makes you wonder. We've seen Boston Latin twice this season, and a big rivalry, Thanksgiving, English-Latin, which Latin has dominated for recent years. You wonder which English team will show up on Thanksgiving morning.
That's right.
Because it's either been all or nothing so far.
Now on second down for English. And waltzing into the end zone is Luke McDonald. 2 carries in a row for him. He picks up a touchdown that time for the English Eagles. 8-yard touchdown run.
I think at this point, they see McDonald, good job, straight ahead, like you said, it's real simple. Nothing's fancy at all. But we may just start seeing an entire lineup of backup players for English. And they have a huge sideline over here. And with the score at 36-0, that's the time to do it.
Your goal line, Jim.
Now on the 2-point conversion. Over the right side. And English is able to convert this time. I think that was Smith taking it in himself.
Yeah, kept it himself.
So Boston English now on top 38-0 here midway through the third quarter.
You see Smith using that speed of his, gets to the corner. And actually use a little power to get into the end zone.
Boston English getting close to that 40 spot they put up on East Boston a couple of weeks ago, now at 38. Showing a bevy of different running backs who can do a lot of different things for this English team. As we mentioned before, and Jordy White, probably their fastest player who plays receiver, isn't playing tonight. So another weapon that hopefully they'll get back, at some point this season.
Yeah, because they're into their city schedule now. So they play, like I said, 3 games out of Boston.
Another onside kick. That time it goes out of bounds. And that's going to be a penalty on English. I think Charlestown will probably just take it right there.
The 40-yard line, yep. Well, Charlestown, they've actually had good field position most of the game. The entire first half and getting the ball now the second half, but just haven't been able to put 2 good plays together the entire night.
So we're going to mark it down at the 46-yard line.
Okay.
That's where Charlestown will have their next possession. So the ball went out at the 41-yard line, and they gave English a 5-yard penalty, which I don't believe is part of the NCAA rule, so that might be a new federation
change,
rule.
right? Yeah. All right, let's see Charlestown throw the ball downfield. Yeah.
Two-back set now for the Townies. They hand off this time, and Doolin, fighting for every yard he can get, makes his way up to the 49, almost the 50-yard line. They do mark him down to 50.
Probably the best run for Doolin so far. Got a little bit of a room. Using that weight of his to lean forward. So the Charlestown, the offense, like we talked about earlier, but they made some big plays in the first half, all in the air. But the quarterback was under pressure, extreme pressure, with that rush from English. And English, they were confident enough to just stay in single pass coverage.
Second down and 6 now for Charlestown. Ricky Cabral looking over the right side for Curry, who makes the catch. Inside the 30-yard line, Curry dragged down to the 22.
Well, Curry stayed with his quarterback. That was the key to the play. Yeah, he actually was, by the time the ball started, he was double covered. But watch Curry. Goes up with that 6'6" frame of his and tacks on more. We're inside the 20-yard or 22-yard line, went out of bounds. And those, like we've been saying over and over, those are the only plays they've had.
Cabral now with 151 yards through the air, thanks to about 4 deep balls just like that one.
I tell you, Curry is just, begging to get into the end zone.
Cabral now over the left side. He's got Jones, and Melvin Jones wrestled down close to the 10-yard line.
Good catch.
Another first down for Charlestown. Now the Townies getting in a little rhythm.
Didn't see many of these short passes in the first half, but Jones, good job. Found an open spot. Curry's back out, opposite field, single coverage.
Cabral looking to his right, back of the end zone for Curry. Jump ball, ball falls incomplete.
No surprise at all. Now the safety does come over late because by the time the ball gets in the air, it gives the safety plenty of time to come over from the middle. But you throw it high to let Curry, like we mentioned, he's 6'6". Let him try to get up in the air. That's the English head coach. You gotta wonder if he's thinking about the shutout. The third quarter is winding down, 25 seconds.
You know English's defense is thinking about it. Second and goal now for Charlestown. Cabral now going to tuck it in and run. Tries to make a move and then is wrestled down right around the 11-yard line.
When the lineman for Charlestown is shaken up, they have to. So end of the third quarter.
I think that's going to do it for the third quarter here at Boston English High School. The English Eagles in full control. Luke McDonald getting into the act with a nice touchdown run right there for Boston English. They're on top, 38-0. We'll be right back with the fourth quarter here on Game of the Week right after these words.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Boston English High School here in Jamaica Plain as we get ready to start the fourth quarter here on Game of the Week. You folks, you want to follow us on social media, you can go to our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/Game of the Week Boston. A lot of good stuff up there. You can also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. If you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW.
Okay.
Just about ready to start the fourth quarter. Charlestown, 3rd and goal, right around the 11-yard line. So far, their best opportunity to put it in the end zone here this evening. The brawl out of the shotgun. Going to have to try to escape pressure back in the end zone. In front of the end zone, rather. Ball falls incomplete.
That's a well-thrown ball. So on the run, he got it out there as receiver. Just couldn't pull it in.
Freshman
Watch
Bernard
this.
Gonzalez.
Yeah, see, the ball's right there. Well, they got some defensive pressure, too, but they had both hands on the ball.
So 4th and goal now for Charlestown from the 11-yard line.
Now, they were trying to go away from the double coverage that was on Curry. But sometimes, if that's your best receiver, you just still have to go back to him. Frustrating evening on offense all around for Charleston. Like you said, no running game virtually at all. And then in the success in the passing game just hasn't gotten any points.
Cabral over the middle, and
the ball sailed on him. Yeah,
sailed
that's too
on him.
bad.
Yeah, Owens over.
He was Owens ran a nice pattern. He was wide open, and the ball just sailed. Watch
Jones,
the ball.
rather,
How the ball goes up and it just never comes down.
Yeah, Melvin's not Melvin's 6 feet tall too. He's not a small receiver.
No, it definitely sailed.
But
you can
that
see
thing, yeah.
as soon as it went, and then again, as a freshman quarterback,
right, got a little excited.
You gotta fall through all the way, so the ball's going to have the arc on it to come down to your receiver, and there was nothing on that one.
Yeah, you wonder too if Ricky could have pulled it in and ran it in for a touchdown there too, but. Again, growing pains for a freshman
it just
quarterback.
adds to the frustration of the entire evening. Well, actually, the entire season. When I think about it, I mean, we talked about them coming in with 2 losses, and they lost to O'Brien 34-14. I mean, we've seen O'Brien twice. They have good offense, so that's no big surprise. Then they went out of town to lose, and they lost to Weston 27-8. So it's one of those things.
Well, folks, next week we're going to be out in Brighton to see the East Boston Jets take on the Brighton Bengals over at Daly Field. That game's going to be next Friday, October 11th at 6:30 p.m. You can watch it live on Boston City TV on Comcast Channel 24, RCN Channel 13, and Verizon Channel 1962. So both these teams, English and Charlestown, are from the Boston South. East Boston and Brighton are Boston North teams. So we've gotten sort of a little bit of a combination of both sides of the Boston City League.
Mix and match, right?
That's right. And it's right now Tech Boston, who we saw last week.
Oh,
we want to talk about
we
quarterbacks.
see him.
My goodness.
It's funny. I ran into, during the week, I ran into a friend of Kevin Gadsden's. And he only had a chance to see a little of the game. He didn't see much of it. He said, so what happened at the end of that game? I said, end of the game, Tech Boston. He said, Tech Boston won that game? Because I guess the part he saw was when O'Brien was ahead.
That's
right. I think they were ahead by 8 points. And he's thinking that they won easily.
Herbie Exelholm bouncing off some tackles.
Out of bounds.
He stepped out of bounds.
Right. But yeah, that was some game. Up and down. Both teams with all those skill players. That was a lot of fun. Had to be fun for the players too.
No question.
His Exelholm talked to his brother at halftime, and he wants to have something to take home with him.
You know, it's funny. They haven't used him that much in this game like they used him before.
I'm really
but they have
surprised.
5 or
Yeah.
6 other guys
Yeah.
that carry the ball, too. It's just they have so much depth at the skill positions this year.
Well, he has 46 yards and only 3 carries.
That's sort of the difference between these two teams, too. When your top 2 backs go down for Charlestown.
No, you have virtually no chance.
And meanwhile, for Boston English, here you see their 4th or 5th running back pull off a great run as Herbie Exelholm makes his way up to the 40-yard line of Charlestown.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Townies, we're seeing a very dejected team, and the effort, you know, is to see them sort of jogging after Exelholm. Just don't have that burst anymore. So a lot of these guys have played both ways, and they're getting pounded because it's all this running that English is doing.
Exelholm now with 70 yards, just 4 carries for Boston English. On first down, it's Exelholm again with the carry. Another huge hole for him. Exelholm rushing past defenders up to the 19-yard line. They mark him down to 20.
And now we have an entire new unit coming in for English, which I thought we'd actually see after that last touchdown. You see Exelholm. So a new, is this an entire, yeah, it's an entire new second unit. Almost lost the ball there, but pulled it back in. So now we're going to have a timeout, Charlestown. A new quarterback, Chris Smith. And 10 other buddies.
Well, Chris actually came into the season as a possible candidate for the starting quarterback job for Boston English, but it was actually Jakai, despite not playing last year, who came in early. Coach Conway complimented Jakai, not missing a practice, coming every day, work on time every day,
Taking
going
it
to work.
seriously. Oh, yeah.
And Chris came to camp a little late for various reasons, and he was a little bit behind the 8 ball, so it was Jakai who then sort of took over and hasn't relinquished that starting quarterback position since. So we're seeing why Jakai is the starter tonight. I mean, he's had such a good game. You can see his skill set. But
well, like I said, the whole team English, Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, this is definitely the Jekyll. Okay?
Right.
Because, and if you're coaching, you just got to wonder. I mean, is it emotion? Is it, what is it? Is it matchups? I mean, we're just guessing that early touchdown would put them in good stead, and it definitely has, because they have not stopped with this just pounding on both sides of the football.
Malik Pass, a freshman, getting a carry here on first down for Boston English.
Now, these are the guys who are always playing in practice against the first team.
And the scout teamers. We've got some freshmen and sophomores there. Chris Smith, the quarterback, just a sophomore. Smith hands it off here again. Nice little run. And then a big hit delivered from Charlestown's Bernard Gonzalez at the end of that run.
Yeah, that's one of those, let me get something out tonight.
Alejandro Fernandez with the carry.
Yeah. They always look worse than they really are. Okay, I mean, it's all about leverage. Okay, you had Gonzalez. He was set, and in that case, you're supposed to wrap up, but he knew he was going to be able to label him, shoulder to shoulder.
Clean hit.
Yeah.
Fernandez got right back up.
That's what I'm saying. They always look worse than they really are, because you got all the pads on the helmet, so as long as you don't fall awkwardly, you're going to be okay. Plus, you're excited to be in the game. I want another carry.
A hit probably feels good after sitting on the sideline for so long.
I want to score.
So Boston English on the doorstep of scoring another touchdown here with a 38-0 lead over Charlestown.
And overall, we talked about moving forward. Okay, English is the most amazing schedule so far. So they beat Eastie, a couple weeks ago. After this one, they have Tech Boston. We've seen them. That's going to be. I mean,
That's a big
in
game.
terms of speed, I mean, some of the speed we've seen on the English defense, they'll have to use it defensively against Tech Boston, because Tech Boston, they're a bunch of road runners.
Yeah, if the winner of that game will take, I believe, sole possession of first place in the Boston South. So that's going to be a big game next week between those two teams.
And after that, they have the South Boston Burke combo team, and then of course, like I said earlier, Thanksgiving against Boston Latin.
We will have that English versus Southie game in a couple of weeks. It'll be interesting to see.
Fumble.
You know, we got a fumble on the play with these English backups in.
See who recovered it.
Julian
Charlestown
Curry.
has it. Curry came out of it somehow. Yeah, the ball never came up, and you see Smith looking for the ball, can't find it.
Julian Curry wants to get out there so they can throw the ball again.
Yeah, Curry's been playing free safety most of the night. A couple of times he played defensive end, but you're right. On offense, he's been the wide receiver. He's been a tight end. He's had a couple of nice catches deep down the sideline, so he's absolutely right. Yeah, Curry just told his freshman quarterback, look, just throw it up.
Throw it up there.
Yeah, throw it up.
I'm the tallest guy
exactly, yeah.
in the neighborhood right now.
And has some speed. You see the pylon shot.
Really nice night here at Boston.
Friday
English.
night lights at English.
Little chilly, good fall, crisp weather. As we're approaching 3 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. Cabral back to throw. Nice little play here to Owens. Or Jones, excuse me. I keep calling him Owens. Melvin Jones. That nice little reception over the middle there. Cabral does a nice job squaring up.
I was just going to say, we've seen that a couple of times where he runs, tucks it in, looks like he's going to run it, then pulls back to square up for the pass. You can see why coaches like him even as a freshman. You definitely can see it. I mean, he's taken some hard hits in the first half, bounced back, had a couple of bad throws, but overall he's also done some good things with by staying alive in the pocket and getting the ball downfield.
10 for 26 through the air now for Ricky Cabral. This time they try to stretch play over the right side to Wellington Arias. And he's gang tackled right around the 10-yard line. Couple yard loss on the play there for Charlestown.
One of the few times they tried to get to the sideline, Arias, there's not much there.
That's going to do it.
Okay, clock on the field says it's over.
So they're going to call this game on the field as Boston English goes on to defeat Charlestown 38-0 here at Boston English High. And certainly a tough night for Charlestown, knowing that they're undermanned going into the game. You're facing a Boston English team who's at home, who I believe their last home game was against East Boston, where they put up 40 points. So they're excited to be back home. They almost put up 40 here tonight. You can see the depth that Boston English has with all these different skills position players, and they get all of them involved early.
Well, that's the key. I think that, and both of us agreed, that early touchdown, the very first drive, just seemed to set them off. I mean, it's like light a spark, right?
That's right.
Because defensively, they had the game plan to go after, rush that freshman quarterback, put a lot of pressure on him, get some hits on him early, and just take your chances with single man-to-man coverage, and it worked. I mean, even though the only success offensively Charlestown had was through the air, when they were able to get the ball deep downfield to Curry and a couple of other players, they were never able to put together anything sustained to even get close to scoring. They got inside the 10-yard line twice, once in each half, but both times they lost the ball on down. So it's just one of those situations that's totally undermanned. in terms of key players, important players, senior leadership, all that you talk about. It just wasn't there. Meanwhile, the English had it all. And so it's good. I mean, it's just amazing. The players from English, they must – I can't imagine how they feel when they're practicing. We're saying, okay, we've been shut out 3 times. And then our 2 wins now are big-time shutouts. So what?
Right.
Okay, their 2 wins are 78 to nothing.
78 points in our 2 wins. The other 3 losses, no points at all.
There you go. But the fact that they have this win and they have the rest of their city schedule to go, I mean, they have lots to look forward to, especially the way that quarterback's playing. The quarterback and all those running backs they have, you can literally turn the season around. And we'll see if English is up to it. I'm going to watch them definitely the rest of the season. I just never seen a team be so up and so down in scoring-wise. But they have the skilled players. Let's see if they can calm down and just be a little more consistent.
That's right. Well, the roller coaster ride of this season continues for Boston English as they win 38-0 over Charlestown here tonight. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have our Game of the Week MVP, our game-winning coach, and our final stats here for Boston English High School in Jamaica Plain right after these words. Don't go away.
Foster safety. Foster hope. Foster joy. Foster curiosity. Foster support. Become a foster parent, because every parent makes a difference. Foster, Massachusetts.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be?
You go and step out of the vehicle for me?
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing. And it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
First time I tried Vicodin, it was laying around my mom's house. And then I kept taking them whenever I could get them. I didn't know they'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Do you want to retire like a champ? Just like legendary basketball star Uncle Drew?
Don't do him like that, Uncle Drew!
You're already acing the game. You've got your dream ride.
Don't be slamming my door.
Sorry about that.
You just did the same. Gotta get the boys.
Your dream vacation and your dream team. And now you can make your retirement just as legendary.
I get buckets.
Get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Welcome back to Boston English High School in Jamaica Plain. At the conclusion of Game of the Week, the Boston English Eagles took down the Charlestown Townies 38-0 here at home. And we mentioned a lot of different skilled guys getting into the mix tonight. A lot of different running backs, receivers. Olawagan, the big tight end, had a bunch of receptions for English tonight. Ja'Kai Smith, the quarterback in his first season, really had a nice night. But Keyshawn Kerr was awesome.
Oh, he was.
He had such a great game. Not a ton of carries, but he
didn't need
over
him.
100 yards.
Plus the fact that you go back to the very first play of the game, he gave the block. He had
That's
the block on the defensive end that allowed that 35-yard pass in the first play from scrimmage, which set them off from their first touchdown and their 8-0 lead. So he did it all. And you're right. To pick him is a really good choice.
No question. He set the tone early and then delivered later on. Keyshawn Kerr is our MVP tonight. He and the game-winning coach, Ryan Conway, are down on the field with our sideline reporter, Leverett Ball. Leverett?
Thanks, guys. So what a dominant win for English, and we'll talk first with our player of the game, Keyshawn Kerr. Now, Keyshawn, I mean, you were all over the place, had over 100 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. What was the key to success for you?
I just come out here and try to make my next performance better than my last.
No, absolutely. And, you know, your offense, you're able to get so many different players involved. Obviously, you had great stats. A number of guys play well. How are you guys able to just kind of put your egos to the side and, you know, just make plays and get everyone involved, spread the ball around?
We want to win, and we're a family, so we play together.
And I saw, you know, you guys kept playing hard from start to finish, even after you got up by a lot. You know, how much pride does your team take in continuing to execute, even, you know, when the score is somewhat lopsided?
We still got to finish it because we got to finish the job, yeah.
Well, Keyshawn, great job tonight. Thank you for your time. All right, so, Coach, first off, what's your initial reaction after just what was an absolutely dominant win for your team?
I'm happy. I'm proud of the boys. They worked hard this week. We gave them a lot of challenges. Charlestown is complicated. They're fast, and you know they're able to break some when they can. If we're not careful and we don't stay disciplined, they're good. They're coached well over there.
And you know, obviously, I was talking with Keyshawn a second ago. What can you say about his performance?
Oh, it's a crowd. I'm proud of Keyshawn. You know, it was him coming up. You know, I was a little down on him. I've been rough on him. You know, and every time the rougher I get on him, the more he rises to the occasion. So I guess he's going to continue to get roughhoused at practice.
Well, it sounds like the tough love has helped him. But, you know, moving forward, you know, with a win like this, how much confidence does this give your team?
None. We got Tech Boston next. Coach Brown over there, he's a good coach. They're a good team. Their quarterback, I think, is from what I understand, is shifty. We don't have any film on him. We haven't seen him at all. I understand their quarterback is a real danger. So, you know, hopefully we can corral him and see if we can rise to that challenge.
All right, well, Coach, thank you so much for your time. Congrats again.
Thanks. Appreciate
it.
All
right.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Leverett, thanks very much. And Coach Conway, very happy with the win and a nice game for his running back, Keyshawn Kerr. Folks, we're going to take a look at the final stats here from Boston English High before we sign off. And first up, it's going to be Charlestown.
Yeah, for Charlestown, just literally nothing rushing. Receiving again, Jones ended up with four catches for 53 yards. Curry, the big basketball player, 6'6", 3 catches for 75 yards. Cabral, tough night. Got hit a lot, rushed a lot, but it did end up 10 for 28, 174 yards, even though he did throw an interception. Got his team inside the 10-yard line twice, once in each half, but just couldn't finish it. For English, here's Kerr, outstanding player, over 100 yards, 12 carries, 2 touchdowns. He also had a 2-point conversion run. Exelholm, probably almost all of this was in that last drive. 91 yards, 5 carries. He had 1 carry earlier. To end up with 91 yards just shows you how good he was, even though he only touched the ball 5 times. Receiving, Olugun, that's the big kid with the big hands, big arms, big body, right? 4 catches, 83 yards. Had the catch for the 2-point conversion also. Antoine, 1 catch for 37 yards. Smith, I'm not sure if he was more impressive passing or running, but he ended up going 6 for 8, 132 yards, and he had a passing touchdown. So English had it all going. And we talked about this really bizarre season where they've been shut out twice, and now their 2 wins are shutouts, lopsided shutouts. So it's if you're their coach, I can't imagine what he thinks about in terms of trying to prepare this team mentally for their next game. He mentioned that they haven't seen Tech Boston. Well, there's a lot to see.
That's right.
He'll see some tape on him. I mean, he'll probably check out one of our games.
That's right.
But that quarterback for Tech Boston, yes, he is a lot to corral.
It's going to be two very good quarterbacks that those two teams are going to face next week. That's going to be a fun game, English at Tech Boston. Well, folks, I want to thank you for joining us for this game here tonight at Boston English in Jamaica Plain. If you want to watch this game again, you can go to our website, www.cityofboston.gov/game of the week. All the games from this high school football season are up on that site. You can also follow us on social media. You can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/game of the week Boston. We got a lot of good videos, pictures, links to all the games we've done, so like that, check that out as well. And you can follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. Taking off from English tonight, we'll be in Brighton next Friday night, but for right now, we're going to say so long from English High here in Jamaica Plain. We'll see you next time on Game of the Week, folks. Take care.